Sex exploitation in Greater Mekong Subregion, including Thailand, Myanmar, Laos, Vietnam, Cambodia, and southern China, is prevalent and lacks global attention. According to UN Office on Drugs and Crimes, sex trafficking from GMS countries to Thailand and Cambodia alone generates over $181 million in revenue. First of all, what is sex exploitation? Consider this story. A bar owner tells a girl called Nok, who has been a sex worker in the bar for a while, that more girls are needed at the bar to sell sex. The owner promises to give Nok 10,000 baht if she can bring a girl from her village to sell sex. Nok goes back to her village, where she tells another girl that she can offer her a good job, but does not tell her what the work is. When the new girl comes to the bar, the owner tells her that she has to sell sex and that she owes the owner 10,000 baht for the recruitment. Sex trafficking is a much more common terminology and implies violent abduction and forced transportation. However, evidence shows that many victims of sexual exploitation were coerced or lured into sex work. Research conducted by the International Organization of Migration revealed that out of 1,102 participants, one-third of them received job offers from brokers, and more than a quarter said that someone close to them, usually a family member or a friend, was responsible for their trafficking. Many victims travel to the destinations willingly. Sex exploitation, on the other hand, depicts the nature of the crime better, as it goes much further beyond cross-border migration. After arriving at the work destinations, many of the victims lose their passports. Some of them are tricked into using drugs. There is also a high possibility of getting HIV and other related health problems. Currently, few social safety nets prevent such exploitation from happening in GMS countries. Women and children are affected by sexual exploitation disproportionately. According to the IOM report, almost 30% of investigated forced labor in Mekong Subregion were introduced into sex work sector, and just over half of them under age 18 were trafficked for sex work. Complex cultural structures in GMS increase the difficulty of combating sexual exploitation. People are transferred interregionally, and many victims do not speak the national language or languages of their work destinations. Over 56% of the IOM research participants have never heard of trafficking before. Some have described sexual exploitation as perfect business. It has high demand. Memberships to clubs was paid for by companies as job benefits. Sex tourism in cities like Pattaya in Thailand flourish. Costs are low, as little amount of bribery will keep the business running smoothly. Revenue is unimaginable compared to regular salary. A prostitute in Thailand makes around 50 to 200 Canadian dollars per hour, whereas the national average wage for manufacturing jobs is 200 Canadian dollars per month. As a matter of fact, some prostitutes go back to sex work because it's so much highly rewarded. There is a lack of evidence-based data regarding sexual exploitation in GMS. Current literature has limited focus on prostitution policy and migration control. We need more researchers in the field to operationalize international concerns into local activities and programs. We have seen many interventions addressing global discourse. NGOs, including many UN bodies, have been investing more into research and have been increasing multilateral collaboration. Local police usually fight against sex exploitation in the forefront, but it has not been the most effective due to corruption and weak institutions. Despite the illegality of prostitution in Thailand, its Ministry of Health estimated that there were between 150 to 250,000 commercial sex workers in 2010. Nonetheless, we have not seen interventions addressing local contexts of sexual exploitation, mitigating risks of coercion. So what do? We can reduce coercion by introducing student-run awareness campaigns in local schools with incentives such as government scholarships or recommendation to workplaces. Student representatives from each school will receive educational packages from local NGOs like Freeland and educate their peers on the matter of sexual exploitation, possible methods of coercion, and where to reach out for help. This resolution is viable as it minimizes human resources costs, and governments can apply for a fund from UNDP or other UN regional bodies to support such a program. This resolution will engage students to learn about sexual exploitation actively, focusing on preventing coercion. Incentives will help with their poor economic conditions at the same time. Although their resolution only addresses a small facet of sexual exploitation, it will encourage both men and women, regardless of age, to advocate for human rights, and it is incredibly easy to operate and